Okay, you guys ready to go?
Okay.
Let's jump into the first one. And this is kind of funny. I had asked, and I don't know, I have no idea who's sending these questions in, so I'm not making fun of any of them. But it was kind of funny. I asked Christy, I'm like, well, I'm not going to say his name, but someone who's like a comedian, I'm like, he said this. He's like, no, it's a real thing. So while it is kind of funny, it's legitimate. How do I act like a piece of chocolate cake when I feel like a limp broccoli? And I'm just going to let you.
Well, it's really
We're
cute.
assuming that's a girl asking that because I don't think guys.
And again, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a girl because I was there when the phrase was coined at Women's Bible Study last year when we went through Proverbs.
Okay.
So it could be a wife going home and telling her husband that. And so anyways, well, the way you feel differently, and it's in a nutshell, girls, you have to pray about it. You have to be asking God to help you be what your husband needs you to be. And he will do that for you. Mm-hmm. Bobby and I are not sitting here telling you anything that we have not had to practice many times over the course of our 30 plus years of marriage to our husbands. And sometimes we're tired, or I can remember times when I had kids and I've just gotten them into bed. I'm doing a load of laundry, I'm doing the dishes, I'm getting lunches ready for the next day, and I don't feel like a piece of chocolate cake. I feel like a limp broccoli. Or I feel like a wilted piece of spinach or something, right? But again, my love to my husband needs to be true, and it needs to be there. He needs to feel loved as well as I do. And so I just need to ask the Lord to help me change, again, like you said, change my mind so that my actions will follow. And he will do that. He's done it 100 times plus for me.
Yep. And seriously, I can't minimize or maximize. I don't know which one it is. Okay. I want to say this so you seriously get it.
Yes.
There's no problem with saying just a second and you go into the bathroom and you tell Jesus, change me right now.
Right.
God, you have to change me because I'm supposed to be this person and I don't want to be that right now. And I can barely even be it. So you need to do it and now because I don't have 10 minutes to wait, right? You got to go. And so I've done that a million times in all different areas, and God changes me as I'm walking out the bathroom door. So I don't think it's a problem to say just one sec, honey, and spritz on some perfume.
And yes, it works.
And out you go.
It does.
It does. Yeah, because God, it has to be God who works in you.
Yes.
Like that one that thing that I just read. Mm-hmm. It's God that works in you. Oh no, that's not where it was. Mm-hmm. Oh, but anyways, does it say that?
No, it's God that works in you.
Both to will and to do
His
it.
good pleasure. That's Colossians.
Yeah, Colossians. Yes. Yeah, so God works in you both to will and to do it. That's what it says. His good pleasure. Right. So,
and I love that. I like that you brought that because the will is the want to, and the how to. So basically, what that's saying is that God will give you not only the want to, but the how to.
Yep.
And that's so cool. I love that, and especially in this area because again, God created it,
and sometimes
He wants it.
Don't you think too? Like I think that we think well, it has to. We have to be all in. Everything has to be there. We have to. But that isn't even real life. Like, I don't want to make dinner sometimes, but I do it, right? And I don't want to do this sometimes, but I still do it. And maybe I don't have the greatest attitude going in, but I'm praying as I'm going, help me make this chicken nuggets taste good. I don't know. Whatever.
We're having
taste like steak. I don't know what else to do about it.
Exactly.
So that's our whole life. Right. We're doing that all the time. So I don't think it's any different, with your husband and broccoli.
And broccoli. Broccoli or chocolate cake.
Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, really, it is mind over matter. I know that sounds silly, but maybe it doesn't sound silly. It truly is mind over matter.
Yeah.
We women, again, we get into our head all the time, and we just talk ourselves out of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think also, we think that it has to go. Girls, we play things in our minds, okay? So that's why I like that renewing of your mind thing, because we play it all up, okay? So we think that sex is supposed to go this way, and this is what's romantic, and this is how it should come down, and all these things. And then if it doesn't come down like that, then we don't think that we had sexual intimacy.
Right.
Or we're mad at our husbands because he didn't, smooch you enough, or whatever it was that you thought, there wasn't candles going. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever your thing is. But I don't think that that's really how God... Sometimes it can be like that. And sometimes it's not.
Yeah, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And I think we women more than anything can set the tone for that too.
Yes, totally.
Planning those special romantic times if you can. But no, it's not always going to be that way. And that's okay, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, so I just have one point, and I'm kind of going to preface it with So I was a little bit nervous about this show as I'm thinking like I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna like excommunicated from Calvary Chapel or something. But we live in a world where everyone has questions about this
yes.
stuff, and the church as a whole doesn't do a very good job, I think, of
Right.
answering these questions.
Right.
Right? Okay. So when I look at this question and the angles that you're talking about, I totally see that. But as from a guy's perspective, like we don't look at all that stuff. Like I've been married for a long time now. I just don't care about the presentation as far as like the chocolate cake.
Thank
Like,
you.
hey, let's put some chocolate syrup on it, whipped cream and sprinkles,
Sure,
make it all.
sure.
I just like chocolate cake.
you
That's
go.
all. I don't need a
Right.
big old, thing.
Exactly.
And so
Okay.
while the girls may be
Good.
worried about that,
Right.
I think, for a guy that's been married for a long time, I just don't care. It's just
And-
not in my...
Okay.
And don't you think it's because of what you said in my office, is that we read romance novels, we watch romantic movies, we do all, we've got it set up in our head from the time we're 5 years old what our marriage and family is going to look like when we're older. And so again, that stuff we've set up in our mind, or we're listening to a fictional book, or
Well, the
watching
world
a
makes us
fictional
feel like
movie,
that. Like
and
I'm
they do.
ugly. I'm so
Yes, it makes you
ugly
feel ugly.
compared to that person over there.
Yep. If you don't act a certain way, you're not it. Mm-hmm. And that's a lie we have to fight.
I think as Steve says back, I don't know for sure, but like our whole, for me before I got married, like the movies and stuff like that, there has never been a time that I can remember where me and my wife like just did the whole movie where you throw someone up against the wall and like rain's coming down.
No,
And
it's
like,
a movie. It's a movie.
like that. I don't know. I had that in my mind because, and they got married. It's like,
No,
I don't
that's
think
a
that's ever
movie.
happened.
No.
Yes.
So don't set your standard. It's not reality.
It's not reality.
It's
Thank you.
a movie.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
And lots of times, girls, if you want to have a romantic thing, we think our husbands, like we have it in our head what it should be. And then you tell them, can you plan a romantic evening? And it's not what you thought.
Right.
Right? So either you can tell them what you want. I don't think that's a problem.
No.
You can say, this is what I want. Or you just set it up your own self.
Yes.
Right? You're putting the kids to bed early. You got candles on. You're making steak for dinner or whatever. The kids had chicken nuggets. And now you're going to make a steak.
Right.
And you're going to sit in front of the fireplace. And you're going to have a romantic thing.
Yes.
So, and I have to tell this one story because it's so funny because I, used to do this and I do still do it. But anyways, especially when I was younger, try to make everything, So I had this whole romantic thing set up, and then we had questions. I had questions like, let's ask and be intimate with each other, right? And so I asked Steve, like, so, tell me something deep about yourself. Something deep that I don't know. And we hadn't been married very long, maybe 5 years or something. And so he was sitting there because he knows what I want.
Right.
He's trying to please me, right? And so he was like, I'm serious. Like, if you can see my face, he's kind of like, he's like trying
You're in the
really
red
hard,
light.
and I'm waiting, And then he just says to me, you know what, Bobby? I'm just not very deep. And okay, so I could have been totally offended, right?
Right.
I mean, like, you just don't want to tell me your life and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Except for at that same time, God said, he's not. What? You mean he hasn't thought about this all day long and went through everything and tried? No. He's just not like that. So that's okay.
Right.
So they're not like us.
No.
So we got to figure that out. They're not like us. They're totally different than we are. And so, maybe they're not as deep as we are. Maybe they're not thinking about all those
Right.
kind of things. It doesn't mean that you can't have intimacy.
Right.
Right? You're having it because actually that was super intimate. I found out something I didn't know about Steve.
And you laughed about
and
it.
all
And
other guys.
And you
can
laughed
just
about
laugh
it
and go
had fun.
on.
You
Right.
had
Yeah,
some
we're
joy.
still having
Yes.
fun. Yeah, I wasn't all mad about it.
So one of the first marriage conferences that me and my wife, I think it was up in Coeur d'Alene, went to, is they had a time for that, and they called the thing Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk.
Yes,
And we
yes.
go back
That's
and
Lindsay. That's
Lindsay,
Lindsay and
okay,
her Pillow Talk.
and I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
and I was like, what? Something like
were you
that is just,
sweating
I just don't
bullets?
know what to say.
I don't have
Do we
anything.
have to?
I know. I hear you.
Okay.
I got
That's
you.
okay. Then I'm to say they don't.
And I like what you said too about communication. It's okay to talk.
Yeah.
And we are different. I view this very differently than Mitch views it.
Yes.
And I learned a long time ago, you better talk about it. Just talk about it. It's okay.